Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself, Rhulani Baloyi. I am your host, and thank you so much for joining us as we come to you every Sunday, 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock. Today, I bring with me the guest, Mrs. IDAH NGOBENI. She is here. She's a professional. She's a mother. She's a woman. As we conclude the celebration of International Women's Month, we bring to you this wonderful woman so that you can be encouraged through the journey of her life. We are excited, all of you joining us on Facebook. Welcome, and please, this is a conversation. Talk to us through the comment section. Send your questions if you want to ask her questions, any comments that you may have. And all of you on Facebook, please note by the end of this month, the month of March, we will be migrating fully to YouTube. So go to YouTube, subscribe. It is still Bold Moves Radio. Subscribe so that you do not miss anything that we bring to you. And all of you on YouTube, thank you so much. And thank you to all of you who have subscribed. We look forward to engaging with you through the live chat. All of you listening to us on Bold Moves Radio, you are also welcome. You know you can send us your comments. You can send us your questions on 081 358 8745. That is a WhatsApp number, 081 358 8745. We'll read your comments as you send them through during the show and ask our guest. Says IDAH, you are welcome, and we are excited to have you this afternoon. And I trust that the prudent women will learn through the journey of your life. Says IDAH, welcome, and may you greet our audience.
Good afternoon, prudent women and viewers and listeners at the same time. This is IDAH NGOBENI as introduced. I'm so excited to be part of this show. Hopefully, we're going to enjoy this show together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, says IDAH. It is us that were excited because we know the conversation that we shall have with you will leave all the women excited and encouraged through your journey of life, because we know each and every one of us has got a story that we can use to teach other people. It's a testimony of our lives so that we can encourage the next sister, the next brother. Thank you so much. But let me not go ahead of myself and tell the audience what they're going to hear from you, but I would like them to hear from you. Who is this IDAH NGOBENI? So that as you share the journey of your life, they can be at ease to associate with what you do.
Thank you, Sis Rhulani. As introduced already, my name is IDAH NGOBENI, born and bred at Allendale under Bushbuckridge Local Municipality in Mpumalanga, where I started my school journey like any other child. Completed my standard 5 by those years. So went to high school and completed my high school in 1991. Then 92, I became a teacher. The question is why I had to go for teaching. And mind you, teaching was the worst profession in my life that I didn't want to. But because of the circumstances, I happened to be a teacher for that 1 year. Then 1993, I went to TNT by then, where I studied National Diploma in Environmental Health. I came back, started to work. Those years, they were called the health inspectors, but during our time, we were called environmental health practitioners. I worked under Bushbuckridge for almost 8 years. Where I was serving the business people. Little did I know that these are the people that I will have to engage into my entire life. So I did my BTech, furthering my study on the same course or the same career, where in 2004, I joined the Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism as environmentalist.
Okay.
where it was just
Maybe says I that just to interject you there, if you can tell us what's an environmentalist, I would like to know. I mean, we are mothers, we are women, you know, and this show we say we want to be informed so that we can be able to help our loved ones. I want our ladies to know and understand what an environmentalist do, so that at least we can advise the next person. Or maybe there's someone who does not like education, being a teacher like yourself. And not to say being a teacher is bad, isn't it?
No, it's
but
not.
all of us, we've got different qualities and expectations. Yeah, so I'll just want you tell us what the environmentalist does.
Okay, as I've indicated earlier, I qualified as an environmental health practitioner, where I was doing the health education to the public, to schools, young going age, about the importance of the food that we eat.
Okay.
And to prevent most of the diseases, because in food mostly is where we get a lot of challenges health wise. So my profession initially, it was dealing with educating the public on how to maintain their healthy lifestyle, and improve in their intake of food, and check mostly on the expiry date. When you go to ShopRite, go to Woolworths, you cannot just buy anything. You have to check the expiry date, more especially on the dairy products. So they are very, very important in terms of checking the expiry date. But I decided to migrate to look at the environment as a holistic environment, because in that initial profession, I was looking on the non-personal.
There was
no personal contact, but I were trying to tell people on prevention, so that they shouldn't find themselves on the other side. So coming to this journey of environmentalist, I decided to migrate from environmental health practitioner to an environmental management, where it talks about everything that pertains to environment. Within the environment branch, within the department, we do have a unit called Environmental Empowerment Services, where we go out to the community, empower people on what is it that they must do, looking at the issue of littering, the extent of littering, and encourage people on how to avoid the issue of littering, and the issue of taking care of our natural resources, where we talk to different stakeholders. I had an opportunity to rub shoulders with the MECs, with the executive mayors, councillors, traditional health practitioners, then traditional leaders, community-based organization, and municipalities at large, in terms of the work that we are doing. Because in terms of capacity, we are trying to build capacity from the young age until to the whole MEC, or even to the president himself. So my work generally is to talk to people. You will remember I said I didn't want to be a teacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm enjoying, because it looks like you are still a teacher.
So I didn't want to be a teacher totally, but I happened to become a teacher on the other side.
Yes,
but
I think your calling was being a teacher on the environmental side. So you wanted to specialize.
Yes.
Okay.
So looking on that, we do have different programs where we'll render services to municipalities, and we render services to any kind of a structure in a community. And looking on that, it will tell you that on a daily basis, you are forced to be on the road. You are traveling from head office, which is Polokwane, to the 5 districts within the province.
So there's a lot of traveling involved in your work.
Yes. And you have to be able to talk any language.
Yes.
If you are in Venda, you must be able to
Venda.
to do locha. When you are
Yes.
in Skukune, you must be able to talk the Sepedi and all those. So sometimes you find yourself that you are forced to be multilingual. And coming from Bushbuck Ridge gave me a lot of advantage because that
Yeah,
side we
there's
are multi.
mix.
Yes, there is a mix of languages. So coming back to Polokwane, it was just an upgrade because Bushbuck Ridge we reamakelela that side, but this side we have to.
It's a different
It's a
thing.
different pedi that we have to give out to the community. But one thing that I love is that in terms of the interpersonal relations, God has graced me to do that, and within the workspace, I can communicate or I can liaise with anyone without any hassle. So it has given me a lot of opportunity to interact with number of institutions, even the universities. Within the province, we do have University of Limpopo. We had programs together with them. We have University of Venda, which we ran some other programs with them. So it involves a lot of talking. So now I'm a teacher. I cannot budge. I have to continue with teaching. So that is basically what we are doing. The impact that the unit is giving to the community is to give out everything that you can think of. If you have ever heard about the department is refusing to give people to make development, it's just because they don't understand. So our unit has to go out and say, if you want to
Educate.
develop whatever, you have to do an EIA. What is an EIA? It's an environmental impact assessment that will tell you whether you can develop or not. So having that understanding, people happen to come to the department to look for information as to guide them into their development. It can be from the business side or from the personal level. So they do all those things. So that is basically what I'm doing currently. But specifically, I work strongly with the municipalities and most of the things that deals with the municipality capacity because we've got a unit that it deals with that as an environmental governance and municipal service support. Thank you.
No, wow, it's wonderful. When I approached you asking you to come to the show, the objective was that come and encourage us as women as we end the International Women's Month, the month of March, by telling us your life story. But what I'm getting now, it's just the same as everyone else who has been to this show because they talk about their careers, their impact to society. So what I'm hearing from you, says Ida, it's you are a professional within the environmental space. When we talk global warming, you are for me, you are an educator, and above that, you are a police woman because you are policing the environment. And you first educate us, and then now you come with the laws to say, please look after the environment. And it's wonderful. And to all our viewers and listeners, it's wonderful, Yulia, as we continue with the story of her life, that, I wanted you to get the person that she is, that she's a professional. But as we continue with the story, you'll hear that the enemy will have robbed us of something, because when she talks of her career, she says it involves a lot of traveling. I have had an opportunity to interact with her in the workspace as she works with municipalities, and I know it requires a lot of traveling, a lot of activity, a lot of talking, a lot of walking around. These people will get to a place, drive there, and walk the whole day, policing the environment. And you will understand why we have to bring her to the show to say, let us be encouraged. What God has laid in us, surely it shall make it to pass. It shall come to pass through the life experience of a life. But I will want us to go on an ad break. When we come back, says Ida, I want us now to talk of the other area of your life, what you are here to do to encourage us through the journey of your life. Let us go on an ad break. Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman. You are with me, Rhulani Baloyi. We have tonight with us, says IDAH. NGOBENI. She's talking to us through her life experience to encourage us as we end International Women's Month. We have, says IDAH, we are grateful to all the viewers who are with us. And I see Musa saying, powerful, says IDAH, Ntombiale Allendale. And thank you to Charity Mashele, Mantakani, says Doris Nuku. These are our viewers every Sunday. They're here with us. Pastor Frida Matebula, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are always here. Says Rhulani Magaisa. And I see Pastor Joylene is here. We are excited. Please, you are welcome to drop down your questions as we continue with the talk. Says IDAH is going to share her life experience with us to encourage some of us, because I know all of us will have things that are challenging us. But when you hear someone testifying about what the journey of their lives, what they have gone through, you get encouraged. That is the purpose of tonight's show. Says IDAH, before we went on an ad break, you were telling us about your profession, to say you travel a lot, you do a lot of up and down. Your responsibilities requires a lot of energy. You need to be energetic. To be traveling the whole province on a daily basis requires a lot of energy. But says IDAH, when we were talking before the show, you told me that you had to go through something. You had a challenge that you would like to share with the Prudent Woman. You say you went through consultations, different doctors. It was a journey that was not simple. And I appreciate that you are willing to share with us the journey that you went through. So may you please take the women through this journey.
Thanks, Rhulani. Sometimes when I have to share this testimony, I get emotional, but I thank God because now I'm strong and energetic. This morning, I shared something on my Facebook page that the Lord has renewed my strength. And indeed, it was a journey that was not easy.
Yes.
I discovered some years back, approximately 20 years back, that I had a problem on my back, which most of the time I will go for consultation and they will take me to the x-rays and they will tell me that my spinal cord is okay. Then I could ask myself, while I'm at home, I'm feeling the pain, but when I'm going to the doctor, they're saying everything
There's
is
nothing.
fine. So it was not a simple journey, in the sense that it could lead into a lot of disadvantages. As I've already indicated, that my work involves a lot of traveling and a lot of sitting and a lot of working. So to wake up, just to wake up, it was something else.
Something else.
Because you couldn't wake up just like a normal person. You have to have a strategy on how you wake up and all those things. Because the issue was, in the morning when you wake up, you will feel that pain, that stiffness at your back. So if you happen to wake up very quickly,
Too fast,
you will feel the pain. And immediately, if it just dislocate, you don't have to do anything. You just have to stand there in that position. If maybe you were bending or seated, you will have to sit there until you get an assistant. I was taken from home to the hospital through an ambulance many times. Sometimes I will be trying to do my washing. While trying to do that washing, same time it dislocates. Then I cannot continue with that washing. Then that simple means now we have to call the ambulance and come and pick me to the hospital. I'm one person who likes this backyard farming. I have spinach, I've got meal, I've got moroho, different types of moroho. But when I tried to do those things, I couldn't finish what I want
what you're
to.
doing.
Yes. So sometimes I will want to clean the yard. Just to clean the yard, it will trigger some dislocation and I have to be rushed to the hospital. So cooking as well. One can ask you, if you can't cook, then what?
Then what?
So sometimes I remember I started cooking. Then I finally landed in the hospital without eating that pap. And they
and that can be challenging.
Yes.
I want just to pause there to say we want to acknowledge and appreciate your family, because with someone who's going through that, it means you had people who love you, who will always be around you and be able to call that ambulance. Yeah, so that takes a lot of support. And at times we tend to just talk about what we've gone through, but not pause to say thank you to those who were around you. And would like to say at this moment, thank you to all of those people who were giving you that support.
Yeah, I remember when I was here in Polokwane, my son, Twarisani, sometimes he could go with me in an ambulance crying because he didn't understand what was happening.
What's happening?
So I really appreciate everyone in my family who took care of me, especially during those hard times. And, you know, sometimes we are government workers. We do have medical aids. But the way it was,
You're exhausted.
the medical aid got exhausted and I have to pay cash. I remember the last time when they finally get the diagnosis, what was the real issue? It was in 2017. I went to Makado. There was a project that I was supposed to do. Then I came back. Unfortunately, because I wanted a clean environment, because I talk about clean environment,
Yes.
when I arrived at home, I tried to clean the yard. Unfortunately, little did I know I couldn't finish that. And the last thing, I was taken to the hospital. And on arrival, just imagine, I was just dirty and I didn't have anyone nearby. I only called the ambulance. They come and pick me up, because that's why most of the time I have my phone nearby. It was based on that, because I knew that anything can happen. So I need to call an ambulance. I arrived at Pulusu. They told me that my medical aid is exhausted. They can't assist me. And even on casualty, they cannot do anything. Then what? I don't have money. I don't have transport that I have to use. Then the nearest person that I could call, it was Mama Charity. And thanks, Mama Charity, even today.
And
you
she's
were-
here with us. Mama Charity, thank you so much for fixing the other woman's crown.
Yes. So she had to come and pick me up. And because I couldn't go home, we had to go and sleep in a flat. The following day, I went to Dr. Koza. Then he said, I cannot refer you for any scan or whatever, because you don't have medical aid cover. So that simply means that day I consulted using cash. Then they told me, because it was December, they told me that early January, you have to come and then we'll see how to do it. Then come the 8th of January 2018, I came back. Then I went to his surgery. Then they sent me to different scan, the what do they call
MRI.
MRI and all those things. So, and they came back and gave me the report. I said, wow, what is this? Because I could have an idea of what they were talking about. I started to be scared. I said, it's finished with me. Then how am I going to survive? It means now, on the other side, I'm driving a subsidized vehicle at work. It's gonna affect that part. And my life is coming to a standstill. And they referred me to this program, the bed clinic that is just opposite medic clinic at Grobler. I went there, completed the 6 weeks program.
Okay.
You have to do exercise. They have to do the physio on you. And sometimes when I'm out from that program, I felt like I'm dying. Instead of getting better, it was getting worse. So I didn't know what to do. I remember sometimes when I had to go home to Bushbuck Ridge, I had to request people or appoint people to drive me home.
Yeah.
If there are other things that I was supposed to do, then come back. I have to continue with my day-to-day work. It was very challenging. But over and above, just imagine a preacher, a worshiper. I got born again from during those era of revivals, during the 10th revivals. And I'm one person that I believe in the power of God. And I will always encourage people during our revivals to say, with our God, it's able.
Nothing is
But with
impossible.
me, it's another thing. You are encouraging the next person to say, with God, everything is possible. But you really know back in your mind that things are not working out. It was a challenging situation. It was my testing time in terms of my faith. But I believed God that whatever it takes, whatever it is, I still believe that my God is able. So looking on that, it was a nightmare. Going to work, I'll have to request with my immediate supervisor, how about can I come around 9 or half past 8 or to 9? With knocking off, I don't have a problem. Even if you can say I can knock off at 10, I don't have a problem. Because my challenge usually was morning.
Was it because it's cold?
It's cold and I think the veins and I don't know what do they call it from. I remember I happened to know the lumbar 4 and the lumbar 5 because those are the ones that was affected. So it was very tight. So at least when it's past 7 to 8, at least they relax. Then I'll be able to wake up, bath, go to the office. So my journey, my work, it was affected.
Quite a number of people who are watching, and I'm sure you are asking yourself, viewers, to say, what is it that she was diagnosed with? Because she's just talking about all these symptoms, all these pains. I would like us to go to an ad break. When we come back, Sis Ida will tell us what sickness was she diagnosed with, because we trust that even if we are not affected, but we may be affected through other people, our loved ones, our family members, and we'll be able to talk on it. But again, I want to remind you, in this show, she's using her life to give us a testimony, but this does not constitute medical advice. So, says Ida said she's an environmentalist, she's not a medical specialist. So we'll just be talking about this sickness that she went through, but this does not constitute advice. Thank you. Let us go and at break. Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman with myself, Rhulani Baloyi. We come to you every Sunday, 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock. Those who have just joined us, thank you for joining us. This is Prudent Woman. We talk on all issues that affects women so that we can be informed to impact our loved ones positively and even to ourselves. Today, we talk to Sis IDAH. She's a professional, but she's sharing the journey of her life through the sickness that she went through to encourage us women to say it is possible, we can make it. Before we went on an ad break, Sis IDAH, you were telling us about the different symptoms that you went through, having gone to doctors, the challenges that you went through, which impacted your career, because at this point now you were office-based, whilst you love your work, which was more out there, traveling, educating, and interacting with society. And I trust that prudent women are asking themselves, what type of sickness is this? What did the doctor say you were diagnosed with?
Okay, thanks, Sis Rhulani, for that question. I was diagnosed with arthritis of the spine. The name itself, it can clearly gives you an idea that what was it. One can ask, what is arthritis of the spine? I don't have a correct definition that I can give in terms of the medical terms.
Yes.
But it involves your spine, your lumbar, and which it was part of the stiffness, and sometimes it will affect your legs, your hands. Touching water or just to go and bath. Sometimes you could
You don't look forward.
you don't look forward that you have to go and bath, because sometimes it will be like an electricity. You get shocked on your hands or on your legs, especially on the toes. It will be just some numbness of some sort. You couldn't sometimes feel yourself. So it was a little bit challenging because looking on that diagnosis itself, it tells you that it's got a limitation on some actions that you have to do, because when you wake up, you have to strike a balance on how do you wake up, and you find it very difficult. So with that, I remember when I visited the doctor, they were telling me that there's two options that they can try. It's either they do an operation or they just give me painkillers, which the painkillers that they gave me, because I couldn't opt for an operation, I opt for medication. It was 3 times per day.
Yeah.
They give you in the morning, immediately you drink it, you just get drowsy, sleep, and then obviously at the workforce you will be not productive. And during the day as well, during lunch, you have to take that medication. So because of that, I was defaulting nearly every day because I couldn't take it in the morning. Sometimes I couldn't take it during the day. I'll take it in the evening. So the effectiveness of those medication, it was very minimal. Hence, it took me a long journey that it had an impact, because I couldn't get the strength that I needed, because if I go for an operation, there were 2 chances that I can have a problem with my spine for good. So I said, let me not go for an operation, because to the doctor that I went to, I saw a number of patients who were coming with those scratches. They had something on their back that I could imagine myself walking around with those. I felt, no, this is not a decision that I have to take. Let me trust God and believe that it shall be well, even if it looks impossible. But along that journey, I just saw God's grace. I saw God, and to the point that sometimes I was asking myself that, is it me really who is able to wake up and looking forward for a new day every day? So it had a lot of impact, but thank God, because it happened that one day, one of my friends, the very same person who was on my standby to come and pick me up when I'm stuck in a hospital or come and pick me up to my place. Mama Charity came back and said, there is this presentation going on in Mana. I said, how do you?
Maybe before you go to that, I would like us to go to our viewers. I see, as you said, you thank God. And we also thank God to have you in the studio today. And when I had an appointment with you to talk to you, having approached you to come and encourage women through your testimony, I did go through some research on arthritis of the spine, and surely it scared me. And I kept on looking back and think of the person that you've been. And I was like, yeah, this woman is strong. Because I remembered with the years that you are saying you had been going through stuff, there were times where I saw you in the worship team. There were times where I met you in the workplace at the landfill site. We walked, So I would just like to say, indeed, we thank God. And says Rhulani Magaisa, yes, she says, we thank God for your life, Sisi. And I see most women are saying that, Bo Mama, Makoma Mahoba, they are here, says Libuani, Lebu Libuani. We saying, we thank God. When we see you, we see the grace of God, because with the research that I've gone through, I also tend to understand there's no healing. They just maintain you. And, with what you are saying you were going through, says, we will not have seen you like we saw you. And that says you trusted upon the Lord. And you remind me when you said you were born again back those times when there were revivals, and you are a Christian who goes on revivals, And maybe the enemy thought he has won, because you will not be able to go to revivals, because revivals, you dance the whole night, it's about being active. But we thank God that we see you here today. And now I would like you, says Ida, just to tell us the journey that you went through for you to get your healing. And as you testify to us, I would like to say to you, Mina, as for me, having listening to what you have told us thus far, it says it was by faith that you could continue and do what you were doing. You said you are a government employee, and with government employees, I guess we are not paid based on productivity. It was so simple for you to have said, I can go on ill health, I'll still get my salary. But we thank God because you held on and say, I want to make a difference in society. And I invite all of you, please stay tuned. She's got great things that she's going to share with us. Just share with us the journey that you went through towards your healing.
As I've said, Mama Charity invited me to a presentation of a network marketing that was happening here in Mana. I said, Mama Charity, how can you invite me? I cannot drive to Mana. So what are you saying? She said, don't worry, I'll come and pick you up. Then she came and picked me up. We came and we attended the presentation. It was not easy. Those who understand presentation for businesses, it will take you more than maybe 3 hours or so. So to stay in that meeting venue for those hours, it was a challenging situation. But I had to sit and sometimes stand, walk around, come back, listen. And I happened to say, because they were talking about it's powder, it's not medication, the product that we were selling. I said I want it. And I had that faith to say I'm going to get healed in this during this time. I bought the products. I started to use it. I don't know how, by the grace of God, within 5 days, I started to see that difference. I said, okay, if by 5 days I started to experience the difference using these products, it means I cannot just buy one. Let me buy a bigger package so that I can have some boxes to use. I've bought those boxes. I cannot mention the name of a company, but it was a network marketing company.
Those who like to know the information will give you a contact at the end of the session.
Yes. So I have bought those boxes and I've started to use it. Within a month, there was a great improvement. 2 months, it was something else. Now I can run around, I can do what I want. And so I'm like, wow, what a God that I serve. He just used this for my healing.
Yes.
So I came to understand that sometimes God will allow a particular situation to happen in your life so that you can witness the other part of his greatness. Looking on that, I started to become a networker.
Yes.
And with that, my testimony has helped a lot of people. So as I have said initially that I didn't want to be a teacher, and now again I'm becoming a
You are
teacher
becoming a teacher now.
to talk about how can you maintain your health condition that maybe you have been diagnosed and they told you that you cannot get any assistance. The only thing they will just maintain that condition. But I look at it and testify about my condition and how God helped me through those products. And little did I know, fast forward, I find myself, I made some thousands within, I think it was within 6 months. Last year, 20, I think it's last year. I think it's last year. I went to Dubai. I never thought that I can have money to go to Dubai. And by the grace of God, God made it possible through that business, which took me to Dubai and come back and continue selling. And within that industry, I have assisted a lot of people.
What I like that you're saying, it's more of assisting other people, and what I get from your testimony in terms of your healing, it's you found healing through this product which is being sold through network marketing, but you were able to get another stream of income. But I trust that it comes because you were open-minded. Whatever challenge that comes to us, one needs to be open-minded and say, what is it that I have to learn from this situation? You cannot get in and come back the same, but you get in and there should be something that you come out with. And we like to say, we thank God. What a testimony it is that you went through sickness, but in the process, you were able to find a second stream of income. Our country is challenged at this point in time with lack of employment. Even when you have business is challenged, with all these load sheddings, water sheddings, businesses are not operating optimally. You need to have another stream of income that can sustain your family. And as prudent women, we say we need to look after our families. And we thank you that you were able to find it. And what is nice, with network marketing, it's a bit challenging, in this day and age with all these schemes, which some of them are not real. So that's why I'm saying, with what you are saying, I love the fact that you're saying you are helping a lot of people. You have seen people who have been sick, but they got healing through this intervention. So we appreciate it so much. And thank you to all our viewers. I see you all are here. And once more, would like to say thank you to this Charity Mashele. She's a wonderful friend, a sister's keeper. Someone who it says to me, says she was not just there to maintain your sickness, but she was there to say, let us walk this journey together. Let me help you to find healing in the process. And we thank you, says Charity. We celebrate you. Now I will want us to go on a break. When we come back, with this woman, she's dynamic. You had, now we're talking about her entrepreneurial part. She's a network marketer, In the first instance, she spoke to us about being a professional. These are the people who are looking after our environment. She's a network marketer. She goes all out, look for those who are having challenges and help them to get healed through the product that she has found. But there is another angle that she'll come back to tell us about, a socialpreneur. I love this woman. She's very dynamic. Stay with us. Let us go and ad break. Welcome to Bold Moves Radio. The show is Prudent Woman. Thank you for joining us. All of you are joining us for the first time. This is Prudent Woman. It's a show where we talk about all issues that affect women. Tonight we have in the studio says NGOBENI. She is sharing the story of her life, how she went through sickness, became an entrepreneur as a professional. We are talking to Sis Ida. Before we went on an ad break, Sis Ida, you told us how you were able to find a second stream of income through the challenges that you went through. But I know you are also a socialpreneur. I would like you to tell the women, what is it that you are doing for the society? Something that she's doing without expecting any payment. You know, we say as prudent women, we want to impact our environment. We want to impact those who are in our surroundings. And I saw someone was talking about you. Battery says Ntombiale Allendale. So probably let us hear what is it that she's doing in Allendale.
Thanks, Ms. Rhulani, once again. This year, by the grace of God, I happened to turn 50 years. Turning 50, for me, it was a miracle.
Wow.
It was a really, really a miracle because the way it was, I never
Yes.
thought that I can be 50.
Mm.
Then I remember it was on the 28th of December last year when God laid this in my heart that rather celebrate your birthday differently, because while I'm here in Polokwane, there are a number of things that are happening within a different sporting code.
Yes.
I happened to become an athlete last year, June. One can ask if you have started running in June. As a novice, sometimes I didn't have much training. I didn't have much knowledge on what to do and what not. But by the grace of God, as I speak today, I've already did 9 races, official races, that all of them I have finished and have medals.
And
on
being
them.
a novice, I see, but being someone who was diagnosed with
Yes.
arthritis of the spine.
Yes. So it happened that I met this fellow who I called him my mentor in running. So I think it was May last year, he happened to run and managed to qualify it for Comrade. I didn't understand what was Comrade and I didn't know what is it that one has to qualify and for how many kilometers. Then he just posted on a Facebook. Then I said, congratulations. Gee, I have invited trouble.
Yes.
Which now today I really cherish it. So within my comment of congratulations, he said, when are you starting? Starting what?
What?
I have never been a runner. I know myself as a netball player.
Yes.
Only. So, And this one is inviting me to come and run. Okay, it's fine. I didn't respond at that time. I said, gee, I don't know what to say, because I looked at the other comments that he did on other people who commented on his post.
Yes.
But unfortunately, with mine, it was having a question, when are you
When are you
starting?
starting?
Then I said, I cannot disappoint this person. Let me try something. Then I bought a skipping rope, started with skipping, being somebody who that was having that fear that,
Yes.
by the way,
I have this condition.
So running, how about, am I going to do it? But I tried. It was happening. Tried. I finally did 2,000 skips. I said, wow, okay, this is possible. I went into the street, went to the road, ran for those kilometers. And my first race, it was on the 4th of June last year for CDM. And I qualified at 1 hour, 19 minutes,
Wow.
27 seconds.
Yeah.
I was, wow. I was so excited. Then that gave me a push to say, okay, it looks like this.
possible.
It's possible. I went into running. Then come December, as I've already said, God laid this song in my heart. Finally, the Lord has done it.
Amen.
Yeah, indeed, finally, God has done it. I thought around it, bounced it with friends. I want to do this thing. I was discouraged, I must tell you.
Yes.
How are you taking such a big celebration and take it into a running? But I said, this is what I want. I want to do. I ignored all the negative comments that I got. Then I proceeded with my planning. The birthday was supposed to be on the 4th of March. You can look at the time frame. It was very short.
Very short.
But by the grace of God, I managed to invite people. They came through, and I engaged my home village schools. That is Sabeka Primary, which I started my school in there. And the other one, it was another primary, which is Samuel Mhlanga. Then the third one is a high school, which is Maubo. I said, I want to celebrate with them. I am asking for 30 learners, but 10 in each school.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to engage extra 20 youth or unemployed youth to be part of my celebration. So it comes to 50. Then I invited people, my pastors, all the way from Bushbuck Ridge, and some of my fellow club members, and people came on the 4th of March. We had a 50 kilometers run. And within that, my issue was not about long speeches, but I wanted to put a smile on somebody, which I looked at it. Then I managed to buy a uniform for 30 learners.
Wow.
I bought some cosmetics for 20 unemployed youth, and bought the appreciation boards for all my pastors who have impacted my life. Some were pastors, some were just teachers, some who have impacted my life positively. So within that space, I understand to grow up and go into school without a uniform. I was once being there. I know to be a youth without a cosmetic, you don't feel good to be around people. Then I said, if I manage to change the life of these young ones, because even myself, I was once assisted by other people to further my studies. I didn't have money. I come from a poor background, but I thank God because that background has laid a positive thinking today, because I can recall how it was, and I wish to impact on other people's lives positively. So we had that party, we had a lot of fun, and I just believe that God, with what he has started. If it's him who have started it, he will make it that it has to continue if he wants me to continue with it. But for now, that is what I have done. And by the grace of God, I managed to run 50 kilometers from Tulamash to Bushbuckridge, and from Bushbuckridge back to Tulamash. And we had a lot of fun. Hence,
And the terrain there is not simple.
It's hill when you approach Bushbuckridge. The good part about it is not by mighty, nor by power, nor my strength, but by the strength or by the power of God that enabled me to come to that point. Looking at what has happened in my life, I can tell a story and I can encourage someone to say, whatever the situation looks like, you lose hope, but there is God in heaven. And he is able to change our life around. As the song says, come and see what the Lord has done. And come and see what the Lord is doing. And I believe that this the doing of the Lord, not from me, and it's not my energy that enables me to run for those 50 kilometers. But I believe that those kids, their lives have been impacted. Their teachers or their principals, they call to say, you don't know what you have done. We have seen these kids came back so excited, and we believe that coming to school, having their uniform, they will feel the same way with other kids,
children.
and they will be able to cope during their lessons. And tomorrow they will become some professionals. That will make me happy, because that is my passion. And from the teachings that Pastor Strike always give us here at church, I have learned that God will call you into something, and realizing that you are in there, you have to make an impact, and the positive one. I understand that maybe that is the platform that God wants me to put more effort and sharing the grace of God, and sharing more especially to the youth, because within our club, we do have people who are not employed. So that simply means we have to assist them. In terms of registration, in terms of accommodation, in terms of other things that are supposed to happen within the running space. So I feel honored by God to be used as an instrument to impact other people's life positively in whatever that God has given unto me. For restoring my life, He had a purpose that in whatever that I'm doing, I have to make sure that somebody shouldn't go hungry. Somebody shouldn't run without the tickets. Somebody shouldn't run without the license. So whatever that I'm doing, I just see God. And I believe that it is in this calling that I'm prepared to serve Him by serving His people in the running industry.
Wow, thank you, Sis Ida. You know, I see Sis Tintswalo Matebula here saying, wow, so encouraging. And Dr. Mahlatsi Banda says, very encouraging, the life of Sis Ida. We appreciate what you have done. And above all, we thank you that you did not receive that which God was doing in your life and sit back, but you received and said, I want to use it. Let me be a vessel of honor. Let me go out and conquer that mountain, as Pastor Strike will say. And we so much appreciate. I wish all of us ladies, we can look at ourselves and say, what is it that the Lord is doing that I'm supposed to lift up to change other people's lives? With your life, Says Ida, you are saying you are going all out, checking on other people and helping them to find healing. Because I trust that it starts with you. When you have faith in something, it's surely going to be able to work for you. But without faith, it is impossible to please God. So we'd like to say thank you, and our time is gone. But Says Ida, before we say bye to we close the show, I would like to invite you. What is it that you would like to say to the prudent women, which I did not ask you, but you feel you want to leave them with?
Thanks, Sister Rhulani. To all prudent women, there is nothing that is impossible. Whatever that you are facing in your life, it can be a challenging situation, But let me tell you that God is going to use that very same challenging situation for the best. So
Yes.
hang in there, trust God, and look forward and seek His wisdom, seek His
Yes.
guidance for what is it that, Lord, you want me to do after I have gone through this. It can be an experience of some kind, but it cannot just go unnoticed. Yes, it cannot go to waste. It has to be something that it's going to teach you to trust God and make sure that you share the testimony to strengthen other women who are out there facing challenges.
Thank you to all our viewers, and thank you so much for your comments, for your encouraging words, and appreciating. And together, we praise the Lord for what He has done in the life of our sister. And as we conclude this show, we say we conclude the celebration of International Women's Month. We are going to the next month, which is a month which we are celebrating the death of our Lord Jesus Christ. We are celebrating the works of salvation. And I would like to invite all of you, those who are still on Facebook. I saw Nyeleti has shared the link to YouTube. You can click on that link. Please click on it and go and subscribe, because by the end of March, we are migrating fully. Bold Moves Radio will no longer be on Facebook, but will be broadcasting on YouTube. And I invite you throughout the week, as I always say, Bold Moves Radio is a radio which is packed with very informative shows. Every day, Monday up until Friday, we've got a prayer session from 6 o'clock until 6:30. Please join us as we pray together. We pray for different things, for ourselves, for our nation, for our leaders, and we praise and worship the Lord. And on Tuesday, we have the African Experience. On Wednesday, on Thursday, we have Love SA. On Saturday, we've got Mkonzo ya Tingwazi. Of course, Prudent Woman comes to you on Sunday, 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock. We would like to say thank you so much for being here with us throughout the show. We trust that you have been encouraged by the life of our sister, NGOBENI. And we would like to say thank you to our executive producer, Pastor Strike Mangani, and of course, our producer, DJ Messi. Thank you so much. Have a blessed and a wonderful week ahead. See you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika, nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika, nakupenda sana.